Podcast for magic. We come to the Pope on Film podcast to laugh, to cry, to care, because we need that. All of us. That indescribable feeling we get, which I'm describing literally right now. So how describable are we talking about here? That indescribable feeling we get when the Liz-a-Day theme song begins to play and we go somewhere we've never been before. Not just entertained, but somehow reborn. Dazzling images on a small Twitch stream, sound that is sound. Somehow, Dreamland horse erotica feels good in a podcast like this. Bunny Williams feels like the stoned parts of us, and Mei Lin feels perfect and powerful, because here they are. The Pope on Film podcast. We make movies better.
Welcome to Pope on Film. I am Bunny Williams, and with me is...
I am the Pope in question. My name is Reverend Mei Lin. I am the founder of the Church of Ed Wood, which is an actual thing worth a Google. This is episode 461 of the podcast. Yes, Little Lebowski, Urban Achievers, and proud we are of all of that. Bunny!
Yes!
This is not Jeff. Just want to make that clear. No Jeff.
No Jeff?
This upcoming segment is in fact not a reoccurring opening podcast segment entitled Jeff, aka the Betty White Memorial Podcast segment brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends. Download today. Because this time I thought I'd do something different. I thought I'd toss things up in the intro. So today we are going back to the 1970s with an all-new opening segment that I like to call the Pope on Film Variety Hour.
Okay.
I just thought the name sounded cool. This has nothing to do with the 1970s. I just like the idea of the Pope on Film Variety Hour. I just like to mentally picture you and I coming out in like sequin jumpsuits.
Yeah.
Doing like an Up With People musical number to like some shit. What? Who's that? Special guest Harvey Korman. You know, I like it. So, the Pope on Film Variety Hour is brought to you this week by McDonald's. It's a good time for the great taste of McDonald's. And by Dolly Madison Zingers. Bit of news, Bumford. Yes. This first bit of news is just chef's kiss in parentheses. This bit of news is actually from 2020, but it has been going viral again online and on the social medias. On December 1st, 2020, an anti-gay Hungarian politician named Joseph Sager.
Joseph sucks.
There's a Z in the first name and a Z in the last name, and just sprinkled with Z's. Joseph Sager, a far-right politician who played a key role in the country's crackdown on LGBTQ rights in Hungary, was caught trying to flee the scene of a 25-man gay sex orgy.
Nice.
Hooray! That's how you do it. The nation's leading anti-gay bigot breached the nation's strict COVID lockdown policies to go to a gay orgy, and when police arrived, he attempted to flee the orgy by jumping through the window. Like you do.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. When it comes to the far right, no matter the country, no matter the circumstances, far right accusations are always confessions. Always.
Oh, God, yeah.
For example, in America right now, the right is absolutely obsessed with Hunter Biden and the Biden's crime family and the Biden corruption. And because Trump and his entire family royally screwed over the entire nation, every far-right accusation is a confession. And so when conservative Christians, with finger quotes, attack me online, I know that they have a folder titled "Shemale Porn" somewhere on their computer.
Yeah. Yes, they do.
That's just a fact. Sure. Look at the camera.
Hi, Eleanor.
Say hi. So say it again.
Out to our own house.
Yes, Emerald is moving out. Mm-hmm. Eleanor wanted to bring this up because that means that you have your own room now. Yeah. So, hooray. We mentioned that. What did I just do?
Well,
Am I still on? Yeah.
How does that work? Is it like kind of a domino effect?
Yes. Emerald moved out. So Mal got... Emerald moved out, so Amber got Emerald's room. So that means Eleanor has their own room. And then when Amber moves out, Mal will get Amber's room and Max will get his own room. It's a whole thing. So it is very much a domino effect, though. That is true.
So is Mal possibly sitting on the couch circling apartment ads? And
I'm not
leaving him
sure.
under Amber's like dinner plate or something.
Yeah, Amber's chomping at the bit to get out of the house. In lighter news, the atomic bomb.
Yay!
So Japan has been pretty pissed off about all the Barbieheimer memes, and understandable. So people in Japan countered by posting Barbie 9/11 memes.
Yeah.
Online, and Japan was all like, yeah, you don't like that, do ya? And fair point, I think. Quite possibly. It's kind of effed up that we did make a movie which is basically America bravely, heroically bombed the shit out of the Japanese. And so, like, I did not complete the viral Barbenheimer challenge. I don't have any particular want or need to go see Oppenheimer.
No, and like that's the part I'm glad is over, or hopefully over soon. The Barbieheimer thing was cute at first. Oh, look at these two radically different movies coming out on the same day. Yeah, that was cute.
Yeah.
Barbie and Oppenheimer. Yeah, that was cute. But like after a while, it's like, oh, fucking stop it already! Like, you're running this joke into the ground. These movies
Absolutely.
have nothing to do with each other. You can see one without seeing the other.
Yeah,
And it just tells me that
don't
Oppenheimer
particularly
made a lot
care.
more money than it really should have.
Yeah. And to be clear, I'm not just saying that I don't want to see Oppenheimer because my older brother Joe said that he loved it. Oh, picture of the year. Superb acting, so beautifully haunting. My brother has also been posting a lot of Joe Rogan clips on his Facebook, which should tell you a lot about my older brother.
Yes.
I saw a review of Oppenheimer that said spoiler-free review, and it's like, damn it! I've been wondering if America ever dropped that bomb.
Yeah.
Man, now we'll never know.
No, I am probably never going to see this movie. I saw Fat Man and Little Boy with Paul Newman, John Cusack, and a whole bunch of other great people. I don't need this. I've seen this story.
Yeah.
It's like watching another Titanic movie. You know?
Instead of watching the 3-hour Oppenheimer, I'd rather watch Atomic Cafe twice.
Now that's
Cafe a great
is
documentary. That's a wonderful, incredible, superb documentary. I'd watch that twice before I saw Oppenheimer once. But on the subject of Oppenheimer and Barbenheimer, did you hear about AMC Theaters, Bunny?
Not lately. The last I heard was they were going to be putting in like preferred seating prices or some weird shit like that.
Oh yeah, they gave that up. But thanks to the 1-2 punch of Barbie and Oppenheimer, AMC Theaters had the single highest grossing weekend in the company's 103-year history.
Wow.
Isn't that freaking amazeballs? That blows my mind. Oppenheimer would not have done as well as it did if it wasn't for the fact that Barbie was coming out the same day. Like, Barbie saved Oppenheimer. Yeah. But, as I said earlier, I have no interest in completing the Barbenheimer challenge. However, first off, I'm really excited that because of Barbie and Oppenheimer, more people can get the new thing that I made for the intro of this podcast.
Yes.
I'm happy that more Americans are realizing that somehow heartbreak feels good in a place like this. I'm happy about that. But I have no interest in watching Barbenheimer. However, did you hear about what's happening at the end of September, Bunny?
I think I heard something stupid, but my mind blocked it out. What is it?
Saw Patrol!
Saw Patrol.
On September 29th, Saw 10 and Paw Patrol 2 are coming out. And that one, I absolutely intend to watch both of those films on the same day. The problem that I'm having right now is, Bunny, which one should I go see first? Should I go see Saw 10?
Man,
or should I go see
put up a case
Paw
for
Patrol?
either one of them.
Like, in my mind, I assumed that I'd see Saw first because I've seen all of the Saw films. We did the Summer of Saw. And then, if the movie's really fucked up, I can go see Paw Patrol and it'll be like I'm power washing my brain.
Yeah.
But the kids pointed out something really wonderful when I was talking to them about Saw Patrol, which is, I won't want to see the fucking Paw Patrol movie. I will want to see the new Saw, so maybe I should save Saw to the end and force myself to get through Paw Patrol so I can see Saw.
I am gonna go I think you
Cecil.
should see Paw Patrol first
And then
because
Oppenheimer.
Paw Patrol might make you feel happy. It might make you feel like a bit uplifted and maybe a bit more positive in your life. And you're an American, we can't have that. So
That's a good
afterwards
point.
you'll have to watch the Saw movie to get back into the hopeless, desperate, scared, defeated place that American citizens need to be in.
Yeah, in order to live in our current time. Yeah, I get it. Buddy, I've
Yes.
been waiting to tell you this news. I learned this a couple of days ago. It blew my mind, and I have been waiting specifically to tell you. Jeff Jarrett, the wrestler, used to live next door to Taylor Swift, and Taylor Swift would regularly babysit Jeff Jarrett's kids.
Was that before or after he was eating Subway sandwiches?
No, not that. No, different Jarrett. I'm talking about Jeff Jarrett, the wrestler. Double J, Jeff Jarrett. He
With
had
the
the guitar.
guitar?
He would hit people.
Okay.
He would hit people over the head with the guitar and call them slapnuts. He's one of the reasons why I stopped watching WCW
Okay.
and Impact. Now he's on AEW, and it's like, ugh. But so a picture
he finally
appeared.
crashed TNA?
AEW, yeah.
No, Jeff
in
Jarrett
AEW now.
eventually crashed his own company?
Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
He
good.
crashes every company he's in, which is
Good
why I'm
on
a bit
him.
worried that he's in AEW right now. But
He's
so
Jeff
so
Jarrett,
there
the destroyer
Pictures-
of wrestling.
so pictures leaked of Taylor Swift hanging out and playing the piano with Jeff Jarrett and his family, and people online said, "Oh, this must be, look at that, Jeff Jarrett and Taylor Swift. This must be Photoshopped." Who in their right minds would Photoshop Taylor Swift and Jeff Jarrett in the same picture?
Jeff Jarrett. That's who.
It just makes no sense. Like, oh, I've been working nonstop for the past 3 days without sleep, but I've finally done it. I've photoshopped a picture of Bronson Pinchot and Judith Light having a brunch. Like, why would anyone do this? Why have you spent time and energy? So yeah, Taylor Swift and Jeff Jarrett, good friends. Isn't that weird to know?
That is a bit weird, yeah. Yeah.
It's weird. And one final bit of news before
Okay,
we
go
get
ahead.
to this week's very, very powerful hack. Where am I? Scientists at USC believe that they can make the human body regrow cartilage by studying lizards and how they regrow their tails. Now, in related news, apparently scientists at USC have never read a fucking Spider-Man comic book. Because damn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want the lizard? Because that's how you get the lizard.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
funny. This just in. Scientists at USC they have successfully invented 4 long metal arms that attach to your torso and can be controlled with thoughts.
Yeah. Nothing
Very
can go
exciting.
wrong there.
Oh, wait. Funny. More breaking news. Scientists at USC have discovered a way to turn green sweatered white men into sand.
Yes.
huge news out of USC.
But
to go with the other two.
That one's gonna be handy. That one really is.
Yeah.
Spray graffiti off the wall. Just use the green spreader's hand guy.
Bunny, I'm sorry to have to interrupt you. I've got yet even more breaking news.
Yes?
A scientist at USC has successfully proven the existence of vampires. When questioned for comment, the lead scientist simply said, "It's Morbin time."
Yes.
Oh, Bunny, one final bit of breaking news. I couldn't write one for Venom. I tried, but I couldn't think of one. And that's the last bit of breaking news. I didn't know how to word a Venom one right. But anyway, stay the hell away from USC, because they're making a Sinister Six.
Yes, they are.
So just stay the fuck away from that whole campus. Because they're making supervillains over there.
Yes.
Whoa. That's scary. So anyway, that's it for, what did I call it? The Pope on Film Variety Hour. We're going to take just a swipe, and we're going to move into the historical part of our podcast, which I think I can do before Zoom shuts off.
Okay,
I think I can do it.
Here we go.
Okay? All right. So, cut on the monologue, and Buddy, play my intro! Stop meowing. Okay? You're ruining the podcast. We back?
We're back.
Okay. Hey!
Yes!
If you're like me, you're no doubt a big fan of this podcast, The Pope on Film. I mean, who isn't? Everybody loves it. It's sweeping the nation. It's Swiffer wet jetting the nation. But only the real fans, the hardcore fans, who have been with us since the beginning, would know the two main facts about the both of us. The two undeniably really real and in no way made up on the spot facts about the both of us. America's hottest podcasting couple, Bunny and Steve. Bunny and May Lynn. Sorry, Bunny and May Lynn. I'd like to once again point out that we have such a good dynamic, Bunny, such a good rapport, that my friend Aurelia actually thought that we were married.
I saw that from somebody. I don't remember who.
I still think that's wonderfully hilarious. I know that there's a lot of sexual tension between Bunny and I.
Oh,
but
God,
just keep it in your pants, people. Save it for AO3. So, the first and foremost, Bunny, the first fact, which is about you, is the fact that when you are not doing the podcast, you are, in fact, a celebrated proctologist in the greater Colorado Springs area. So tell me, Bunny, what in your life led you to become a proctologist, and also what sets you apart from other proctologists out there?
Well, first, I became a proctologist because I just love assholes. Ever since I was a kid, I was just a real asshole person. And anytime I could be around an asshole was the happiest moments of my life. Now, as for being a celebrated proctologist, that is a little confusing, and I do want to straighten that out. It's not so much that I am a practitioner to famous celebrities, politicians, corporate magnates, or people of this kind. I am more of a celebrated proctologist because I have a mariachi band. So when I am performing proctological examinations, there is really a swinging combo going on behind me. Because the asshole is something to truly, truly be celebrated with your fingers just and getting a good look in there with the flashlight between your teeth and like, ooh, I found peanuts. That's it. Antonio Banderas behind me with the guitar. That's it.
Message for future Bunny. This should be the thumbnail because I'm looking really good right now. This should be the thumbnail for that.
YouTube makes those decisions for me.
Okay. And the second fact, which would be about me, is that I'm a lover of history. I love it, but I'm also a storyteller. And so this is the part of the podcast where I find a story from the history books, maybe one that people don't know that well, and reword it via my own unique storytelling style. And that's what this is, another educationally uneducational installment of historic approximations, or as we like to call it, give me some dramatic music, Bunny.
Dun, dun, dun.
And to be clear, that is capital H, capital A, but small p. That small p is crucial. It's important. It's vital to the entire ebb and flow of the whole podcast. Also, this podcast did used to be called Steve's Historic Approximations, or SHAP as we like to call it, repeatedly, annoyingly, whether anyone wanted us to or not. However, a dead name is dead for a reason, and so we are moving on. So what is happening on HAP this week? I have got a short, sharp HAP about 2 comic strip characters from France that I think got the shaft, the royal shaft, as we could say. And the people, the men and woman that shafted our 2 comic strip character heroes. And the men and woman who shafted our 2 heroes are super famous household names. So to keep the suspense of the HAP, I won't be dropping the names of the people who screwed our 2 heroes until the end of the story. And I'd like to take this time to say, if at any point in time anyone listening to this figures out what this HAP is really about, please don't spoil it for anyone else. Okay? Let's try and keep the suspense alive. No spoilers. Okay. Did you get all that, Bunny? Are you ready?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. Let's do this. The 2 characters, our 2 heroes, both literally and figuratively, are named Johann and Peewit.
Uh-huh.
Those names are not household names in America, but I think that they should be. Johann and Peewit. These names should be super famous names. I saw the Johann and Peewit movie in theaters as a child.
They just go together like Lennon and McCartney. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. You got your chocolate and my peanut butter. You got my peanut butter and your chocolate. And their creator, Johann and Peewit's creator, was a man named Pierre Culliford. And again, let me just say, if at any time you figure out what this HAP is really about, please don't spoil the ending. No spoilers. So, Pierre Culliford was born in Brussels in 1928. He loved to draw, and when he became a little bit older, he thought he hit the big time when he was hired for an animation studio. Ooh, hey, it's the big time for our boy Pierre. But no, the studio opened, and then they quickly closed. But for Pierre, he knew, for his small time working at this animation studio, he knew that drawing was his passion.
10-minute
so we
warning.
started... Gotcha. So we started making daily comic strips for newspapers until he hit the big time. See, there's a very popular French-Belgian weekly comics strip magazine called Spirou. It started in 1938, and it still comes out weekly to this day, which I think is impressive. It was created to compete with the popular French comics of the day, like Tintin and so on.
Yeah.
So in 1952, Johann and Peewit started appearing in Spirou magazine, which was very much the big time. Johann and Peewit was a comic strip set in medieval times.
Okay.
This is important. Medieval times. Very sword and sorcery type stuff. Evil sorcerers around a cauldron making spells. Maybe there's an animal that is the evil sorcerer's pet. This is all, again, very important to the story. It'll all make sense at the end. But this was set in the medieval times. It stars Johann, the brave young debonair page to the king. The king is never named. And Peewit was his, for lack of a better word, and I'm quoting directly from Wikipedia, Peewit was Johann's midget sidekick, his comedy relief, the asterisk and obelisk sort of French-Belgian relationship. That was Johann and Peewit. Johann was the hero, Peewit was the tiny little guy. Johann and Peewit ran in this prestigious Spirou magazine for years and years. They were collected into books, graphic novels, small toy figurines were made, wink noise in parentheses, puppets, and an okay amount of merchandise. Not as much as what was to come, but we're almost there. We're almost there. So Johann and Peewit got into medieval adventures, met a wild cast of characters. Here's a couple of them. There was the unnamed king, who never learned who the king was. There was the tomboy Princess Sabina. There was Homnibus, the friendly enchanter. There was the gossipy Lady Barbara. Peewit had a brave young pet goat named Biscuit. And 6 years into Johann and Peewit's run in Spirou magazine, specifically in October of 1958, there was a plot line that would change everything. Johann and Peewit, our man, the artist Pierre Culliford, was always looking to add new, fun, crazy characters into these medieval stories that are happening in the medieval times. So in October of 1958, Johann and Peewit are told by Homnibus, the friendly enchanter, about a magical flute that he must retrieve. But oh no, the flute is being held by a mischievous group of magical creatures who live in the mystical woods, and they always cause mischief. And these mischievous magical creatures were known as Le Schtroumpfs. Le Schtroumpfs, which is fun to say. It sounds like your tongue is sneezing. Le Schtroumpfs. So Johann and Peewit get the flute, Homnibus does his magic, and boom, end of story. End of those throwaway secondary characters. We can bring them back in like a year or two. But the readers loved Le Schtroumpfs. They wanted more Le Schtroumpfs. So Pierre's like, okay, I'll bring Le Schtroumpfs back because the fans love them. There you go. There's a bit more of the world of Le Schtroumpfs. And now we are done. Oh, but the fans want more. And they want Le Schtroumpf toys and Le Schtroumpf figurines. Okay, I'll bring Le Schtroumpfs back again and again and again until it becomes crystal clear to Pierre Culliford, who loves Johann and Peewit, that people only want a Le Schtroumpfs and not Johann and Peewit, not our boys Y and P. So eventually, Johann and Peewit are shelved, and Le Schtroumpfs explode in popularity. Toys, games, dolls, so many frickin' figurines. They are everywhere. Eventually, they decide to make a movie. A major studio in France says, "We're going to make a movie on Les Schtroumpfs." And Pierre Ford said, "Hey, I can direct it for you. Do you want me to direct the movie? After all, I did create Les Schtroumpfs." So they say, "Okay, Pierre, you can direct the movie." And he goes, "Great. And hey, while I'm directing, maybe we should put Johann and Peewit into it, because those were his favorite characters. He wanted Johann and Peewit to explode, not Les Schtroumpfs." So, Johann and Peewit are the stars of the movie, along with Les Schtroumpfs, and hey, Pierre's like, "Hey, this movie will explode all over the world, and then Johann and Peewit will be popular again, and I can get back to my love, my first love, which is creating the medieval world of Johann and Peewit." So in 1976 in Belgium, the animated film La Flûte à Six Schtroumpfs was released, and it did fairly okay. But sadly, it did not reignite the duo of Johann and Peewit. But
How
here's the
sad.
odd bit: the Johann and Peewit animated movie would actually receive a massive United States theatrical run. But
Really?
there was a catch. The Johann and Peewit animated movie would get a massive US release, but not for another 6 years. Can you tell me why, Bunny?
Tell you why for another 6 years? Because they were communist.
No, because in 1976, most Americans didn't know who Les Schtroumpfs were. Pause for dramatic effect in parentheses. But by 1980 effing 3, the movie La Flûte à Six Schtroumpfs was renamed, because mid 80s Americans sure as shit knew who the the Smurfs were. Boom! Big reveal! I'm a pickle!
Okay.
And that's why Gargamel is all cauldrony and roby, and he's got his cauldron, and he's doing spells, because the Smurfs are from medieval times, bitches!
Okay.
Now that's what we call a Shyamalan. Yeah, so we owe the creation of the Smurfs to a medieval comic strip from the 1950s called Johann and Peewit. I think that it's a shame that Johann and Peewit are not known, but they made 100 trillion freaking Smurf figurines. I find that fascinating.
Well, I don't know how exactly true that is. I mean, that might be the
What?
representation of Smurfs in like the cartoons and movies and stuff. But I don't think that they influenced the little figures. The little figures were just
Yeah.
some goofy shit that caught on.
And they were everywhere.
Oh God. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm surprised that more people don't know about Johann and Peewit. So that's it for historic approximations this week. Be sure and join us next week for more educationally uneducational fun with and cut on that. We're going to take about a 10-minute break. We're going to show some cartoons and some movies and have a little bit of fun. When we come back, we get to talking about this week's movie, Creed. We're getting into the good modern day movies, and I'm excited about that. So,
Did that just cut?
Stick around. We'll be right back with more. So stick around. Don't move. Just sit. Just sit down and wait for the show to be back. I swear to God, if we come back for the show and you're not sitting there waiting, I swear to God, I will break you in half. I will break you in half. Don't you test me. Sit there and wait. Grr.
Much later.
Hey, Grandpa, tell me about the time you committed treason.
Well, our president was a racist and a rapist, and he lost re-election. So we decided to break into the Capitol and try and hang the vice president and kill a bunch of people. And I saw somebody take a big shit in a hallway. Yeah, it was a pretty great time, and that's my story.
That's not a very good story, Grandpa.
Well, fuck you, you piece of shit!
Between work and school, I'm a very busy person. I don't have time to meet that special someone. So I went to loversdate.com, paid the $700 fee, and filled out the questionnaire, which they obviously ignored. Hello?
Hey, baby. My name's Ted the Stead.
Ted the Stead?
Yeah, it's really Ted the Stud, but, that don't rhyme.
I wanted someone who was financially stable. Oh, okay. Are you ready to go?
Oh, hey, are you gonna pay for this? Because I spent my last $5 on some lottery tickets and some 40 ounces. Oh, never mind. I got some Chef RD in the car. Be right back.
I wanted somebody who was sweet. Oh, they're beautiful.
Yeah, it's amazing what you find when your neighbors don't lock the car door. Hey, you need a Bible?
I wanted a person who was family-minded. So, do you have any kids?
Yeah, I'm sure somewhere. Hey, who is that there picture of you?
That's my sister.
Cute. How about later on you, me, and her get together in the bedroom?
I wanted someone adventurous.
Are you expecting somebody?
No.
Look, if it's the cops, I'm not here.
You're wanted by the cops?
Yeah, look, it's a little bit of a misunderstanding. See, I didn't know she was 15. I thought she was 12.
I wanted someone to call me unexpectedly and tell me they needed me. Oh. Hello?
Hey, baby.
Ted, it's 3 o'clock in the morning.
I know, baby, but I need you real bad. The cops got me. I need bail money like now.
It cost me 20 minutes of my time to fill out the questionnaire. $700 to join, 1 bad date, 20 calls a night for 2 weeks, and another $200 to file a restraining order. Thanks a lot, loversdate.com.
Loversdate.com. We just promised you a date.
Wow. This room is perfect. The aura in here, man. Oh, just, so good. This is a great room.
Yeah, I mean, this room is exactly like the one downstairs. I mean, you can do whatever you want with
A
it.
shrine right there on the wall.
Oh, yes, a shrine with incense. Yes, can you smell the incense everywhere? Yes.
And my Chopra poster.
Chopra, wasn't he an extra on Star Trek?
And my sign right there. Oh, yes, my sign.
Well, we'll have to move the TV.
Yes, throw it out. We
Oh,
don't need
yes, get rid of it
TVs,
altogether.
man.
Well-
We don't.
You don't need a TV downstairs if you don't want it.
No, that TV.
Yes.
That TV?
No.
That one.
Wait, are you talking about moving in here?
Well, yeah, man.
No, you guys can't move in here.
Well, why not? It's so perfect.
I sleep in the nude.
Well, me too, man.
Rebels! Rebels! You can't tell me what to do. You're not my dad.
I think I'm gonna procrastinate a little bit more. Hitting open strings without my right hand. Using my left hand, singing. I need to quit singing so I can start drinking. Here I go. Dark in the city, night is a wild. Steam in the subway, the world is on fire. Do 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 do. Woman, you want me? Give me a sign. Catch my breathing, even closer behind. Do 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 do. In touch with the ground, I'm on a hot down after you. I smell like a sound, I'm lost in a crowd, and I'm hungry like a wolf. Cross the line, a discordant rhyme. I'm on a hunt down after you. My mouth is alive with juices and wine, and I'm hungry like a wolf. Ow. Stuck in the forest, too close behind to be upon you by the moonlight side. Do 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 How about drumming on your skin so tight? You feel my heat, I'm just a moment behind. In touch with the ground, I'm on a hunt down after you. I smell like a sign, I'm lost and I'm found, and I'm hungry like the wolf. I straddle the line, a discord and rhyme, howling and winding after you. My mouth is live, I'm running inside, and I'm hungry like the wolf. Hungry like the wolf, 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 hungry. Burning the ground, away from the crowd, 'cause I'm on a hunt down after you. I smell like a sound, I'm lost and I'm found, and I'm hungry like the wolf. I'm out of line, it's discord and rhyme, 'cause I'm on a hunt down after you. My mouth is lined with juices and wine, I'm hungry like the wolf. Burning the ground, break from the crowd, I'm on a hunt down after you. I sense the sound, I'm lost and I'm found, and I'm hungry like the wolf. Crossing the line, a discord and rhyme, I'm on a hunting after you. My mouth is alive, I run inside, and I'm hungry like the wolf. Oh no, I bust a sweat doing that song. That deserves a drink. Don't mind if I do.
Mm. Judge me by my size, do you? Mm. My penis you have not seen. Huge it is. Mm. Yes. Suck it you will. Mm.
You're not built for this. These boys come in here, they gotta fight for life. People die in the ring. Your daddy died in the ring. I don't know him. Ain't got nothing to do with me. I've been fighting my whole life. It's not a choice for me. Every punch I ever thrown's been on my own. Nobody showed me how to do this. I'm ready.
Sick eyes from the nose pressure. Release slip zip ties on the protesters. The 6 wives in the fry of a mold weather. Medic caviar bar out in Odessa. Dirty needles breaking all the old records. 100 hoes, 1 shovel, and some old treasure. Old Zeke used thief as a gold tester. Figaro's finger waves, passing from the old level.
This picture's from the 10th round of the first fight, right? I heard about a third fight between you and Apollo. Behind closed doors. That true?
How do you know all this?
I'm his son.
And wear gloves for the reason why I gave ties. Scared thugs going crazy in the cage box. Looking at the world through the TV, a day room, rapping over beats. They made electric chairs for us nowadays. Last meals, no pills, then the tri-state. Death row like Suge in a late pot. Maybe he could dig a tunnel while the A block.
A great fighter once said, it ain't about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
See this guy here? That's the toughest opponent you're ever going to have to face. I believe that's true in the ring, and I think that's true in life. Now show me something.
And we're back with more of the Pope on Film.
It's time, Bunny!
It's time. It's so time.
Yes, Bunny, my friend, it is time once again for all of us here at the Pope on Film podcast to do the time warp again into the third and final segment of the show. And it is said third segment wherein we finally and eventually get around to discussing our all-new high-fiber, low-fat, high-fiber, zero-calories, high-fiber, all-natural, ridiculously high fiber, like so high, non-GMO, and you just shit your pants. That's how high the fiber count is. So high. You just pooped yourself. Movie of the week! And this week we continue our season-long summer of Yo, Bunny, I gotta do what I gotta do. One step at a time, one punch, one fight, one something. And this week we continue our season-long summer of Yo by moving into the modern age with a look at the 2015 film/soft franchise reboot, Creed!
Creed! My God.
Bunny, after an entire summer of a few ups and a shit ton of downs, we have finally made it to the modern-day Creed trilogy of Rocky movies. What are your thoughts so far about this trilogy of Creed movies? Bunny.
And that's really all I have to say about that.
Okay, it was all jumpy on my end, but I didn't hear a word you said. but I'm assuming that what you said was beautiful. Oh, yes, what a beautiful speech, and I couldn't have said it better myself.
It was one of the better
so the Rocky
movies, while still being really pretty much a piece of crap.
Yeah. I liked it. I like a new, fresh take on what has become a very stale series.
Okay, yeah.
And I like...
But they had to wedge the plot into the movie with a fucking spoon. Like this movie smells of plot by committee. It's just like, well, you know, the focus groups really show that the audience loved Apollo Creed, so maybe we should do something with Apollo Creed's son. Well, Apollo Creed didn't have a son. Oh, well, he didn't know. And good Christ, the convoluted plot that they had to go through to get this guy into this movie to be its hero, while ripping off liberally from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air to do it.
When you said the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, I wasn't expecting Creed to be a accountant of some kind. But I was hoping to see a couple of guys who were up to no good started making trouble in the neighborhood, but I never saw them. There was no Carlton.
Yeah.
Which I'm upset about. So the Rocky franchise has 9 movies. 9. And I would just like to take a moment to pat Sly Stallone on the back for writing all of the previous 6 movies
getting old.
In our Summer of Yo. He has written all of the first 6 movies by himself. However, I found Creed to be a bit of a relief to have a different writer at the helm of the series. Sylvester Stallone helped write this. He probably wrote all of his parts, but the rest were all, for lack of a better word, I like that this is less Caucasian and less Guido of a Rocky film.
I could go with that, sure.
Just being honest, this was less Guido-y and more, minority driven, and I love that. I love seeing that in a Rocky movie for once. Rocky doesn't know what it's in the cloud means?
No.
I have a hard time. Well, Donnie takes a picture of what Rocky wrote, and Rocky's like, don't you want to take this paper? And he says, oh, I got a picture of it. Well, what if you lose your phone? It's in the cloud. And Rocky immediately starts looking up at the sky. And it's like, okay, I know that he's like punch drunk, but I'm assuming he would know.
But was he punch drunk? Exactly what Rocky were we getting here? I was very confused. I mean, he had the hat. He didn't seem quite as stupid as he used to be, but he certainly was no rocket scientist. He was kind of a proto-Rocky, like kind of a blank. A neutral, almost. And really, come on, Apollo Creed's stepmom, or whatever you might call her, give me that woman does not exist. That woman does not exist, who went out there spending her money to search for her dead husband's bastard child?
I will say I was happy to see Felicia Rashad again.
Yes.
That made me happy, just seeing her in a major motion picture. This is exactly how I felt when I saw the comedic horror thriller The Menu and saw that Judith Light from Who's the Boss was in that movie.
Really?
And it's like, yay! Good for you, Judith Light! Great to see you again.
And
It's been a while.
Are we supposed to believe that he is the only bastard child of Apollo Creed, or would she have more kids in that house than Annie's orphanage?
Yeah, like an orphanage. That would be how many? I was trying to think of a joke, but it might be a bit too high.
So this is the story, basically, of a stockbroker who is still street and returns to boxing.
Yeah. Yeah. There was one scene when you see him for the first time in the office typing. I was like, is this Fight Club?
Yeah.
Is he a space monkey? I'm a bit confused. I assumed that Rocky didn't know what the phrase "in the cloud" meant just because Tommy Gunn effed him up that bad.
Yeah.
And now he just doesn't get it. But I will say that yet again, here we have the badly written love interest, because there has to be one. But I would much rather have Tessa fricking Thompson than Screechy McOwlface Talia Shire.
So before we get too deep in the movie, a couple of things I wanna put out there that's not really related, but it's worth mentioning anyway. For some reason, the latest version of Plex I'm running is kind of crap, and it's misidentifying movies quite a bit. So I guess technically I did not watch Creed. I watched Rule Number 1, There Are No Ghosts. An Asian film of some sort. I do not know, but that's what I played, and guys boxed. So that's one thing. Second,
Okay, that's odd.
just while watching the movie, just by chance, I wound up uttering a phrase that I feel is so brilliant and so wise and really says who I am, that this, I have decided, this is what I want on my tombstone. Okay?
Okay, hit me.
I can't fairly judge the baklava being this high.
I like that. That's cute.
I can't fairly judge the baklava being this high.
That is a great phrase, I will say. That is a good phrase.
If you were wandering through a cemetery and you saw that on somebody's tombstone, you would think about
take
that
a
the
pause.
rest of the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there we go. Okay, enough of that, but back to the movie. Man, they really didn't like social workers, huh?
Yeah. I have not held back this summer on how much I hate Paulie as a character.
Yeah.
Because he has been the effing worst throughout this entire series, but I felt a wee bit sad seeing Rocky visit Adrian and Paulie's tombstone.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm only hoping that Rocky paid for an extra large casket for Paulie so he could be buried with his 1980s robot.
Yes. Yeah,
the true love of his life.
Although when Rocky gave Adonis Paulie's old room, the only thing I could possibly think about is like, motherfucker, what must it smell like in there?
Yeah.
You know, like just sweat and bourbon and farts and cigars. You know, just
and
like
patchouli.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, you know, it would have been, Rocky would have been kinder if he said, we used to raise a Vietnamese pot-bellied pig in this room. That would would have been more kind to Paulie's memory.
Yeah. I imagine Paulie's room smelled like a barbecue restaurant covered in sweat.
Yes.
That's what I would imagine Paulie's room smelled like. But I still found it kind of sad seeing Paulie's tombstone. And speaking of tombstones, wildly inappropriate segue alert!
Okay.
Stallone originally refused to be in this movie. Let me tell you why.
Okay.
Remember when we saw Rocky V and Rocky Jr. is played by Stallone's own son?
Yeah.
Well, apparently that young son is dead.
Really?
Rocky's son, Sylvester Stallone's son, who played Rocky's son in Rocky V, died right before they started casting Creed.
Wow.
So they went to Sylvester Stallone and they're like, "Hey, can you be in this movie?" And he's like, "Oh, absolutely not. No, my son just died. I can't do it." But they convinced him to do the film as a tribute to him. Stallone talked about it during his Golden Globe acceptance speech because he won Best Supporting Actor at the Golden Globes, not at the Oscars. But yeah, apparently doing this movie helped him get over the grief of losing his son.
I forgot all about his son because I was thinking like, you know, the real movie would be Rocky has a son. That would be the real movie. Adonis Creed versus whatever his name was, Stallone. Just have the kids go at it.
What was his name? I don't know. I never wrote down his real name. I only wrote down Jess from Gilmore Girls in my notes. So I don't know, Jess from Gilmore Girls. I know who you're talking about. So that's good. It is kind of odd seeing training montages in a Rocky movie without cheesy 80s music from the band Survivor.
Yes.
I miss Survivor.
Yes, and I kind of felt that Creed had the eye of the possum.
Yeah. I found it to be... So recently, I learned that I have a bit of biases within myself that I need to work on. I was looking at the news, and a few months ago, my small town was decimated by a tornado. And I was looking at the news, and I saw that it said foreigner donates $100,000 to help small Oklahoma town rebuild. And I saw that headline and I'm like, oh, what foreigner? Okay, I'm going to open up this article. I want to know what foreigner. It's probably some sort of Chinese businessman and then I looked it up and no, It was the band. Foreigner. They were having a concert in town and they donated $100,000 to help the town.
So it was not a foreigner, it was Foreigner.
No, it wasn't a Foreigner. It was the band Foreigner, but they didn't lead with the band in the headline. They just put Foreigner donates, and it's like, oh, okay. Apparently, I have some biases.
Which you could have, you could have done that back in the 80s, and everybody would have known.
Yeah.
But no, I mean...
Yeah.
I didn't even know that band was still alive, collectively.
Yeah. Yeah. Foreigner. They want to know what love is.
Yes,
they want you to tell them. So Adonis Creed, the son of the deceased Apollo Creed, wants to make a name for himself in the boxing world. He gets Rocky Balboa to come out of retirement to train him. And then he has a match, and Rocky comes out with him, and he wins the match. But then right after that, it leaks. Oh, no, it leaks that he's the bastard son of Apollo Creed. And I am sorry, but I live right here in the real world. The moment people see Rocky Balboa come out of retirement in the corner of a young black boxer, people will fucking know. There's no leaking needed.
Yeah. Yeah.
People will just know it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. But again, now... Yeah. But first we have to go through the obligatory, I want you to train me. No, I can't train you. And like, you know he's going to train them, so it's just like, all right, let me nap through the filler, okay? And the filler is we do the obligatory hot girlfriend. But he's talking to Rocky and like, I heard there was a third fight. He was like, how do you know all this? Like, yeah, how do you know all this? You weren't there. You were a bastard child in the penitentiary. Okay? You don't know any of this. And, you know, he knows because ESPN came with his bundled services.
Yeah, there you go.
That was the only reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. You are Creed in name only. You know nothing about this man. And the fact of it is like, your son does not become a boxer because you were a boxer. It's not genetic. It's more believable that Adonis Creed came out and said, hi, I'm Adonis Creed. I just cured cancer. Than he be a doctor. You tend to be as far different from whatever the hell your dad was.
Yeah. Ridiculous. And then Adonis's girlfriend gets pissed that he didn't tell her.
The good fucking acting. The good acting made it easier to eat the shit that was being shoveled.
Yes. Yes. Good acting. There is good acting in this.
And what was with the sandwich shop? What the fuck?
Huh?
What the fuck was with the street food? They stopped into a street sandwich shop, and it had elegant dining in the back. What the hell?
Hey, that's just how Philly is. I don't know.
I'm not sure if that part of the sandwich shop was even in Philly.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, Adonis's girlfriend has every right to be pissed that Adonis didn't tell her about his family lineage, but also, how dense do you gotta be when Rocky Balboa comes out of retirement to train no one that no one has ever heard of, like, hey, Valkyrie, you should have figured this shit out.
Yeah.
You know? He wins a match against a local boy, and the trainer leaks the news. And quick pause for a minute. Rocky comes out of retirement to train you. He is sick. He is dealing with cancer. His wife is dead. His best friend is dead. He has very little, if anything. But he comes out of retirement to train you. He takes you in. He makes you chase the chicken, not a euphemism. And he even lets you move into his home. And what do you do to repay him? You have sweaty sex with Valkyrie on the man's couch.
Yeah.
Yuck! That's gross. Other people are going to sit there. The Italian stallion's butt is going to fart there later.
Maybe he already farted there.
It's not. Ew, that's even grosser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ew.
Maybe he's already had sex on that couch.
So Rocky has a
With
fall.
Paulie.
He's diagnosed with. Huh. Fucking Paulie. I just. The first Rocky movie came out in 1977.
Yeah.
And then the majority of the series is just so... The majority of the Rocky series is just dripping 80s. Even some of the movies that were done in the 90s, even Rocky V, which came out in the 90s, technically, is still dripping 80s. And I just love finally seeing some modern talk, some good acting, heart. Rocky V pissed me off so much that I refused to watch any of the other Rocky movies. So, Creed, Creed 2, Creed 3, I'm going in 100% blind, and it's a breath of fresh air to see this film after all the other Rocky movies that we have seen. You know?
Yeah. And I need to go back to Felicia Rashad, okay? She's talking to little Adonis. And he's like, I don't have a father. You had a father. He died, but you had a... Okay, Felicia? We're not talking about Immaculate Conception here. We know physically there was a fucking father. But this kid had no father.
Yeah, literally.
What's wrong with her? You had a father. He just died. Yeah, that's what not having a father means.
Bunny, what was the name of that Corona movie? Where they named the character Felicia just so that they could say...
Which one?
What was... There was a killer.
COVID killers.
The Corona... The COVID killer. There you go.
Yeah.
That was it.
And there were two of them.
Yeah.
And I'm so sorry I remember even that much.
Wow. You remembered. So he heads to Liverpool to fight. The scene where he unwraps the trunks. Again, you know, the Rocky movies are just sports Godzilla movies. Because you watch it, and here's this big film and this long film, and it's like, okay, it doesn't matter what happens to the humans because you're just here for the fight.
Yeah.
You're just here to see the big-time fights, and the movie was good, and I liked it. I liked the character work. There seemed to be actual acting in this film, but then, like, he unwraps the trunks, and it's like, damn it! These movies get me at the end every time, and I found myself choked up. Then again, I am on estrogen, so it's very easy to get me choked up.
Yeah.
Still, the ending got me choked up.
I don't know. That was just the most obvious thing in the world.
Okay.
Before I even saw the movie, I said he better be wearing his father's trunks when he fights.
He did.
You did. I've got a filter on which automatically adds lipstick, and so by putting my finger over my mouth, it's messing up the filter. So I'm basically just playing over here. It's
Is that what that is?
Everyone-
I just saw the flashing, and it's been flashing
Yeah, no.
through the whole thing.
I know because I'm effing it up by putting my finger over it.
It keeps flashing to me.
Yeah, it keeps going to me from me to Eleanor.
10-minute
It's a
warning.
lot of fun. 10-minute warning. So here's what I was thinking, Eleanor. Earmuffs. No, hold on. I can build it up. So there's some homoeroticism in just the concept of boxing.
Oh,
Like
God, yes.
Sweaty, half-naked men just staring daggers at each other. And I was watching this fight at the end. It's fight night. The fighters are staring at each other, just staring at each other eye to eye. And they come out in music, and the guy's like the whole time, just, hitting his gloves together and just staring at this man. This man, he's going to go in the ring. This man, he's going to take down. I'm going to go down. I'm going to take down. So I think that the ring music should be like, okay, you have badass ring music. Okay, you've got intimidating ring music. What if the ring music adds to the psychology? So that's why I'm thinking if I'm ever a boxer and I'm going to a fight, just to mess with the person I'm fighting with, I'm picking the uncensored version of Nine Inch Nails' Closer as my music. So while I'm walking out to the ring staring at the fighter, the whole time Trent Reznor's just, I wanna fuck you like an animal. As a way to really mess with the guy, and the whole time I'm just staring at him. Maybe a little kissy face. You and me. Afterwards, at the restaurant downstairs. That's what I would do,
Yeah. Now,
Psychology starts with the music.
I would definitely come out with "Oh Mickey."
Hey, Mickey, you're so fine.
You're so fine, you blow my mind, hey Mickey.
We were singing that today,
because
weren't we, Eleanor?
That
Weren't we just?
it is a known fact that song will get in his head. That song will get in his head, and it won't let go. And you will be fighting him, and in the back of his head somewhere, through the whole fight will be, oh, Mickey, you're so fine, you blow my mind.
I gotta say, I am shocked to have seen...
Huh?
I am shocked to have seen a Rocky movie with so little Bill Conti music.
Yes.
But at round 12, right at the beginning of round 12, when you hear that Bill Conti score, I'm marked out.
Yeah.
I'm marked out like a wrestling fan at WrestleMania. I marked out when I heard that theme music. The theme music. I got excited. That's all I've got for Creed. Were there any yos that you counted? I didn't count any yos.
We got 3 yos.
3 yos? Okay. I wasn't counting, but the movie was so good that I just didn't count.
Yeah.
I wasn't really paying attention at all to the yos in this. So there were 3 yos.
Well, like I said, the only
So where are we now? Where does that...
I don't know what the total is offhand. We're in something like the 80s.
Yeah.
I can throw the pre-roll screen back up. It's up over there. Hey, let's just do that.
Oh, no. Every
85
once in
yos.
a while.
So this brings us
How many?
So we were at 85 yos.
85.
So now plus 3.
So 80. 88 yos. Do you think there is a small possibility that we could get to triple digits by the end of this summer? That's huge
It is
in the
possible.
yo department.
Do we only have 2 more
That
for the
is
summer, or do you have
incredible.
something else hanging out back there?
Nope, 2 more. We have
Okay.
2 more. Yeah, we have 2 more. But I'm super excited to watch the next film, Rocky 2, because this one is a direct sequel to Rocky 4.
I just would like to put out of my head his entire origin story and just be like, okay, yeah, that's Paul Grease kid, he's fighting now. And leave it at that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Because his
That's
actual
understandable.
origin story
So-
drives me a bit batshit.
Yeah, understandable. So that is it for Creed this week. In our next episode, we will be doing Creed 2, and we will have a musical guest. Adriano Celentano will be performing a song in no specific language. Next week, very excited about that. And if you can, track down the horror thriller comedy The Menu, because Judith Wright is in it. And it is...
This is one people were talking about just like a month or so ago, right?
Huh?
This was the... Isn't Ralph Fiennes in it?
Yes.
Yeah, this is that movie.
Great movie.
It was like a month or so ago. People were talking about it.
Yeah, wonderful movie. I absolutely loved that movie.
I had
It
no
is an
idea what it
incredible
was
film.
about. I thought it was about food, and it didn't sound interesting.
No, it's like this horror movie.
Yeah.
It gets pretty intense, and I absolutely loved it. It's like a famous chef, but if he was also a cult leader,
So Guy Fieri.
which isn't that much of a stretch. Yeah.
So Guy
Yeah.
Fieri, right?
Yeah, it's a really good movie. I like it. But
Or am I-
Creed 2.
I get Guy
next week.
Fieri
Now the-
and Jared Leto confused all the time. Which one is the cult leader again?
all the time. I'm pretty sure Jared Leto is the cook, and Guy Fieri is my Joker.
Yeah.
My Jokers are Cesar Romero and Guy Fieri. Period.
He's got a cult. They all
Oh,
live in
no.
Flavor Town.
Oh no! Oh no! The Joker has poisoned the water supply in Flavor Town. I love it. I'm writing a really bizarre fan fiction in my head right now. But Creed 2, that's next week. We're going back to Rocky 4, and I'm excited.
Yeah.
We're going back to Rocky 4 with Creed 2, and I'm excited about that. But
Yeah, Creed 2, or as the Plex is concerned, the 1992 movie Ticks.
Oh, Ticks.
Yeah.
So that's why when we do the podcast next week, Bunny, the whole time will just be like this. Trying to get the ticks out.
Yeah.
Scratching behind his ear with his feet.
I had to watch the beginning of all 3 movies so I know which movie is which.
Ah, gotcha. I think it's because I named them.
No,
Whenever
it's
it's just Plex then? Huh. Odd.
You just named them C1,
But-
C2, and C3.
Yeah. So I thought that maybe that was the reason. Okay,
Yeah.
less than a minute. I've got this. But now that I'm looking back at this episode, the highs and the lows, the ups and the downs, Creed 2, Les Schtroumpfs, Jeff Jarrett and Taylor Swift of Romance Made in Heaven. I gotta say, this has been a pretty good episode of the podcast, buddy. Do you agree?
This has been a damn good episode.
Good. I felt the same way, but you make that decision. I didn't want to step on your toes. Anyway, I concur with your assessment, good sir.
So until next week, I've been Bunny Williams.
And I am Reverend Maylin, and on behalf of Eleanor, Natasha, Max, and everybody else, I just want to say thanks for listening, and we will see you next week, you godless heathens.
Bye.
Eleanor. Trump? You just said Trump? Do 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 do. Do 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 do.
Oh!